Right, I will start the meeting. Apologies for absence.
Yes, Chairman. Councillor Baldwin first and Councillor John Grady.
Declarations of interest? Any? No? Thank you. Item 3, to confirm as a correct record the minutes of the meeting of the council held on the 19th of January 2026 at the council chamber at St Richard's House. Can I have a proposer, please? Thank you. And the seconder? Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you very much, everybody. Item 4, Mayor's announcements. Well, I'm coming to the end of my year now, and I counted up, I will have done 57 engagements, and it didn't feel like it at the time, but it is beginning to feel like it now. We've had some lovely things to do, and we've seen some lovely people and met some lovely people. I am just recently we had afternoon tea with the Parkinson's group over at the old library, and I must say they do a cracking strawberry trifle. And we've also been to other afternoon teas, which I quite like actually. So as sad as I am, it's coming to an end. I am getting a little jaded now. We still have a couple of things to do. We've got, we're going to see the passing out of the Fire Brigade cadets on the 9th, which will be our very last engagement. And we've also got a nice dinner at Pershaw to look forward to on the 8th. I'm very pleased to see people are coming into our lovely new Heritage Centre. People have said to me how lovely it is. In fact, we were at Dorset House having another afternoon tea actually, and the lady in charge there, she's the manager up there, said she came into the Heritage Centre with a view of bringing some of the residents from there, and was so pleased with how it is set up for disabled people in there, and she will be bringing them into the Heritage Centre. So that's my announcements finished for now. Item 5, policing invoices.
So Ben and Vicky.
Ben, thank you. Thank you for coming up here. It saves people stretching their necks.
Evening, everybody. How's everybody all right? Good. So I know you've all had the report this morning, so I'm just going to skim read it and then we can take questions afterwards. So there has been a few changes to the local policing teams. So PC Vincent, who was in town, is now working a new role. PC Grace Mark has now left the force, and PC Bullock will be moving to Worcester. We are having 3 new police officers that will be starting in May and June. Some of you may be aware that we've had a big primary agency meeting and councillors meeting just to discuss the issues that are going currently on in the town at the moment, which was quite productive. I'm looking forward to doing some more partnership working. Thefts are still very much going on in Droitwich. Not everyone is reporting. For example, Boots this afternoon, they've just reported theft on the Business Watch. They've got a vehicle wreck and they've not reported to us. So we could do something with it, but they haven't reported to us. On the 8th of March, we did have a report from a member of the public who reported that they could actually see 2 individuals spray painting who were the ASCA and FSC, FSG tag. Unfortunately, officers couldn't get there in time to intercept because it was quite awkward busy at the time. However, I have spoken to the person and has given me limited information on what they look like, which is quite interesting for us. So we are going to be doing some more charge patrols around there to hopefully try and catch them in the act. And like I say every time, if anyone does come across any graffiti or see anything like that, please do report that to us so we can act accordingly. Some of you may be aware as well that we have had recently 2 cannabis grows discovered in the town. So the first one was in Coleman Road, literally above the vape shop. That 2 people were arrested for that, and there's currently investigation ongoing for that as well. In relation to the other cannabis grow, that was the old HSBC recently. Again, we've gone in there and we have arrested someone for it. For that one, there was quite a lot of stuff on Droitwich Spotted saying that there was a strong smell of cannabis, which we had to build a picture of to find out exactly where it was coming from. When we did establish where it's coming from, we've taken positive action and we've had a really good result. We are aware that there are some cars that again have been damaged around the Patchwell Hill area around the 14th and 15th of March. And we are aware that this is causing a lot of community tension and frustration with everything in Droitwich going on at the moment. These properties had smashed windows and they were damaged by ball bearings. In relation to, on the 18th of March, we did have a report of multiple youths racing around on e-bikes and an electric bike. Officers were unable to be deployed due to operational activity. However, the informant was spoken to and we've got some potential descriptions of who to look out for now. In relation to the Lido that's been damaged recently, so we had a report from the Lido and the date that was given to us was from the 25th of June 2025 until the date it was reported, the 20th of March. It has been filed due to no lines of inquiry, and unfortunately due to the way that it was initially reported as vandalism, it has caused more community tensions within the town because people are believing it's the same vandals that caused the previous damage. Tesco in Mulberry Tree Hill was broken into on the 2nd of April with just over £6,000 taken for that. Investigation is ongoing for that at the moment. There has been some churches that have been broken into as well, all of which have been spoken to by police officers as well. And there is more traffic patrols in the dark hours of darkness around the churches around our area as well. In relation to our most recent event on the 22nd of April, that did cause a lot of tension on Droitwich Spotted, was where a male has allegedly taken a picture of a 15-year-old girl up the skirt. This has caused a lot of community tension on Droitwich Spotted. The male has been arrested for it and investigations are ongoing for it. And that's it in a nutshell. Has anyone got any questions that they want to raise or anything?
Ben, I hope you recovered.
I'm just on my duties now, so taking it slowly, but thank you.
I noticed that during that period there was a steep incline in crime in Droitwich East, which covers the town centre. It's a steeper incline than last year, where the peak was in July. Obviously, that depends how many crimes are reported. But do you think crime is on the increase, and will it be higher at this July than it was last?
It is hard to say. Potentially it does increase. Like, we do get people reporting quite frequently. In relation to some of the shoplifting, Marks and Spencer's on the Worcester Road and Sainsbury's have actually started phoning in shop thefts as well now. So that is going to see that the figures are going to increase for that. So I think it always has been there, but they've not always reported. In relation to like when we've spoken to before, when you've looked on Facebook and there's things on there and you think, okay, has that been reported? Some of the stuff that we do see in Droitwich Spotted and other Facebook pages, we do look at that, check to see if there's any incident logs reported, and we don't always see an incident report for that. So we do use that as a good tool to look and see what is happening, but unfortunately not everybody does report, and that could be for any number of reasons. So it's hard to say at this moment in time. You're welcome. Anyone else? Yes.
I guess the link to that is it's understanding where is it against national benchmarking. We know we're usually considered a low crime area, but everyone's starting to see ASBs and campus farms and shoplifting. That seems to be quite strong in people's mind and views now. So is this a rise nationally, or is this just in Droitwich?
I think there's because I mentioned this the other day. I think with the town, because we've had the Raven set fire recently, that's caused a lot of community upset across the whole community. And I think, would we be having the feeling that we're feeling now in relation to what's happened with the Raven? Like, yes, okay, we come in ups and waves with Droitwich and crime reporting, but given the fact of what's happened with the Raven, people's tensions are going to be quite up here anyway, and they're going to be a lot less tolerance. In relation to nationally, I can't comment on that. I wouldn't have the answer to that, unfortunately, but if you want to, I can find that out for you.
I think it would be interesting because we know a lot of things relate back to COVID and how the country's come through COVID. So is there something generally that's happening that we need a big picture on and more control over generally?
Yep, I can take that back and I can find out for you. That's not a problem. Anything else? Yes.
Sorry, yeah. I think I read this morning something about Waitrose actually stopping, detaining and.
Yes, they did.
Is that?
Yes, I nearly fell off the chair, but yes, they did.
Well, stereotype, I did that once, and I'd call it a citizen's arrest. Is that what it is? Is it legal to do that?
Yeah, so there's common law powers that you can detain someone. If you were to do that, I wouldn't recommend that, because with shoplifters, you don't know what they're carrying, you don't know who they are. Just, if you see someone shoplifting, 999 it, and we'll come straight out to them and deal with
I
it.
wouldn't do it now.
No. But I think in relation to what Richard said as well, I think because of what's been happening across the town, I think a lot of people are feeling quite upset, they're feeling quite annoyed about the fact that this is happening, and rightly so, because Droitwich is a lovely place to live in and work in as well. But I think with what has happened, I think it's making it a lot more difficult for people to see that it's currently up here at the moment, and it is hard to see when it's actually down there at the moment. So I think I can go back to Richard and see what I can find out for you. Are you thinking in relation to other towns the same sort of size as Droitwich, or?
Yeah, I'm quite keen on benchmarking anyway. It gives you a kind of a view of your town and where it sits. It needs resolving anyway. All the issues. I know everybody's doing a great job, and you're working very hard on it. But to the public, it's quite as strong at the moment, a lot of the issues, and we need to be seen to be doing something to overcome that.
Yeah, no, I understand, completely understand. Yes, sir.
Are you getting more reports of tagging at the moment?
I'll leave that person, I'll make reference
Just
to-
that one there?
just that one.
Yeah, 'cause we noticed a couple of small ones, but I'm just wondering whether it's starting to increase again. Because of the summer weather and.
Yeah. We've not had any reports whatsoever, so that was the first time in a long time.
Okay,
That person has been said that if he does see them again, not to himself at any risk, but he can somehow discreetly film, somehow. Just because when he went and challenged them about it, they did graffiti on there, how could you do this? And that was what he said to them. So it's very much like what they've done previously when, for example, the Highways England have painted over that, paint it again, just to try and entice. So I think that's what they are doing.
yeah.
If anyone does see anything at all, like anyone coming to them or anything suspicious, I think in relation to everything else that's going on around it, further afield from Droitwich, I think in the rural communities there's been a few burglaries and people are feeling a bit nervous. So if there is things that are going on in where they're living, if they're not sure of anything, please do phone it into any suspicious activity and we'll check it out. Yes.
Mr. Charles, just if you want to say thank you, you and your colleague. You have a very difficult job and a very difficult sort of line to walk, and I think you all do it brilliantly.
Thank you. Thank you. Has anyone got any other questions? If there's anything else that you think of, as always, just make a note of it and then feed it back to me. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you very much. Yeah.
6 and 7.
Item 6 and 7, I'll pass this over to Richard if I may. High School and Youth Council.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Currently 7 on 6, but 7, we have had a recent youth council meeting, which was very good. At the start of the meeting, a Wychavon Star was presented to Matthew Kenny. You may know that Wychavon do these community stars for people that seem to do well and do good. Anyone can nominate them. So we could all nominate people that we think, and they potentially would get a Wychavon Star, and the chairman goes out with a certificate and a badge to award the Wychavon Star. Well, Matthew Kenny, he's still 14, has done fantastic work volunteering over the years. I remember him and know him from the British Legion when he was only 5 years old, and he was brilliant with the British Legion and has been for many years. Then he joined the Army Cadets. Then he's a key person in the Droitwich Cycling Walk and Wheelie Action Group in helping them, and he's plays a key role now in the Youth Council as well. So for someone to give that time, that energy, I believe it's a real role model that we should be supporting and championing. So I was happy to put him forward for the Wychavon Star, and he was duly recognised at the Youth Council meeting. Generally, the topic of the Youth Council was National Reading Week, and we have guests from Joe at the Crafty Cafe and Nikki from the library. And between them, they set up an exercise for the youth council. Remember, the youth council is from the first schools right up to the high school. So we had the answers from Chawson First School, from Witten, and from the high school and other schools as well. And Nikki and Joe focused on Tom Gates' Epic Adventures by Liz Pichon. I don't even know of that book, but it's a book that takes people on their journey, and through that journey they are told how to develop crafts and really get absorbed into the book. So it's a way of getting youngsters reading, but also crafting at the same time to engage them. So Joe from the Crafty Cafe bought an exercise round where all the youth council could make lanterns. So we spent the time making lanterns and decorating the lanterns with their favourite scripts from books and so forth, which was an excellent session. So that ended up really well. They were permitted to take their lanterns home as well, so that was good for them. The next youth council, we've only got one more left, I think, before the end of term, which is in June. So we'll be coming on to that, and I'll update that at the next council.
Thank you. Any comments on that? No, thank you very much then. Item 8, Worcestershire Wildlife Trust, to receive a short presentation with the opportunity for questions and answers from Julie Granger. And I'll pass that over to you.
Thank you. I'm just going to do a tricky thing because this needs to warm up, I think. I am going to stand up, but I do have a running injury. I'd like to say it was from the marathon yesterday, but that wouldn't be true. That was just from a 5K earlier in the week, but never mind. We can all hope. Do I need to do it again? I know I can see it appearing.
Yeah, slowly.
Well, thank you for letting me come to speak to you. This was very kind. I just wanted to explain what my role is at the Trust and a little bit about what we're doing, because we're mainly working in Droitwich and Worcester. So you're part of our area, if you like. The Trust has a target, and one of the targets is to persuade 1 in 4 people to take action for nature before 2030, which is rapidly approaching, as we all know. I'm standing in your way, aren't I, really? You can't be seen. As we know, is rapidly approaching. And they realised that although we own a lot of land, the Trust is a big landowner and we have a lot of reserves. Actually, if you don't have a car, you pretty much can't get to them. There's only one reserve that has a bus route to it in the whole of Worcestershire. So it's a tricky one. So they realised that if we're going to do important stuff for wildlife and we want people to be involved, we've got to go to the areas where people are. So my job is to work in urban areas. I don't have a reserve to work on. I just work, basically, I work in other people's land with other people's money. And it's just me and my colleagues. So we're called Neighbourhoods Nurturing Nature, which is a bit of a mouthful, so we tend to just go, and it's just some of the things that we do. We work in communities, we work in schools, we work with schools, in communities, so we kind of pretty much do anything. Our remit is really, really big. It's great. The target areas are Worcester and Droitwich. The target audiences are 13 to 25 mainly, but also areas where we don't normally get people engaging with nature. So we basically looked at our membership for Worcester and Droitwich and chose the areas where we have the least number of members, because that's going to be the kind of areas where people don't normally engage, and that's what we're aiming at. So that was our kind of thinking behind it. This is the map. It's not very easy for you to see from where you are, I realise. It's focused between the River Solbot and the River Severn, and mainly it goes Droitwich, Fernell Heath, Worcester and Kempsey. So those are kind of the bits that are in between. We do go up to Wychbold and we do go down to Kempsey. And we've been trying to work across that range. We've done quite well with lots of different groups. But there is quite a lot going on in the Droitwich area. So you may have seen any of 3 of us. So Anna on the left is part-time, but she's so useful. She's so organised, it's great. There's me in the middle and Connor on the right-hand side. Some of you have met Connor, I know, because I know some places in the room. And unfortunately, we only have 1 year left of our project. It's a 3-year project. We've done 2 years. We've got 1 year to go. We're doing quite a lot in Droitwich as it is, but if we can get any more projects in before the end of our project, we would be really, really grateful. So if you can think of anywhere where we might be able to help. What we can't do is we can't run a project for a group of people. We can support a group of people doing a project for nature, but we can't run it because our job is to give people the resources or the skills to be able to do it themselves, because we're going to have to walk away from projects as that's our job, that's what we do. So we can't say, well, we'll run it for you, because then at the end, if we walk away, it will fall apart, it will collapse. So it's really important that we have a good community buy-in to this, whether that is a school or we do a lot of scout groups, guiding groups, local communities, like I said, residents. This is just some examples. This one actually isn't in Worcester, in Droitwich. This is in Worcester. So the Heart of Worcester College has an SEN group. They're sort of 16 to 22, I think. And they were given this area to be a garden. And it's a concrete space, really. And that's what it looked like. And we spent a year with them. And that's what it looked like at the end. So we worked together with the students. They designed it. We helped them purchase some of the things they needed. We got some grants off people, but they did all the work. We did it with them. We've walked away from that project. I don't go there anymore, but they're still doing it, which is great. So we enabled them to carry on with this. They've added more things to it actually since I left. But that's the kind of things that we're doing. So there's now a little tiny oasis of green in the middle of quite a lot of built up area, because if you know Heart of Worcester College, it's right in the centre. This one is St Joseph's Primary, which you may know in Droitwich, and they've got really great big long fields. So what we did was, in conjunction with Worcester County Council, a gentleman there called Wade Muggleton, who you may have come across, I don't know, he got some funding to put in something called a tiny forest. And a tiny forest is what it says on the tin. It's trees planted really close together in a small space. It's an urban forest. It's not meant to go out in any of the reserves. It's an urban space. So right at the bottom of their school field, we, as you can see, we had a digger in, and we created 2 spaces to plant trees. This is 1 year's worth of growth. So in 1 year, some of the trees are taller than me already. And in fact, Connor, if you've met Connor, he's quite tall. And one of the trees was as tall as he could actually reach. So that's 1 year's growth. So tiny forests encourage quite rapid growth that you can see quickly. And the children can get a feeling of it being a forest and can be inside it. The nice thing about St Joseph's was that all the children planted a tree. Every single child in the school planted a tree. And they put their names on the guards that go around the trees. And the idea is they can go back and find their tree and see, are they taller than their tree, or is their tree taller than them, that kind of thing. So, in fact, the reception children, their intake photograph for the school is them next to their tree, and then when they leave, they're going to do another one with them next to their tree. So when they go away, they've got, this is me when I started, and this is me and my tree when I left, which is a nice touch, I think. We do a lot of walks and talks. On the left top there, you can see that's Copcup, Pulley Lane. We've done a lot of work with residents there. We started off talking about woodlands and what's important in a woodland. We've done, that one I think was a bird ID day. We've done a tree ID day. We've done coppicing and bulb planting. So quite a lot in that area. To be fair, we're not needed very much there now. There's a residents group, they're sorting it out themselves. We kind of got them going with a few bits to put in there. They don't really need us. I probably will go once more, probably might even do that. The middle one is at Chapter Meadows in Worcester. That was another bird walk. And the top right was a talk that we had about hedgehogs and a bit about their history, about where they live, what they do. And then we had a gentleman come in and make a hedgehog box from a flat pack. And people then could win a flat pack to take home, which was a nice kind of way of of doing it. So what I'm saying to you is we're working in Droitwich we've worked with the West School, we're working with Westlands First School, we're working with Westacre Middle School. We've been working at Stalls Farm Road, Mayflower Road, Westwood Open Space. So all these places you may have heard of. If you find a space where you think we might be able to help do something useful for wildlife, because at the end of the day, we have the Wildlife Trust. But what we found is if you do something good for wildlife, it's good for people too. People like being outside. They like doing something useful. And creating a space for wildlife feels really good inside. If you do something good for wildlife, it makes you feel better. And that's what we all want. We all want to feel good about the things that we do. So if any of you can think of something we can help with or want to come and help on a project that we're already working on, then that would be also fantastic. Shall I leave some cards? And then if anybody does have anything they want to,
Thank you.
they can email me, give me a ring at the office. Some people have already got my email addresses, but if you do want to know any more, and when you're thinking about the land, I'm just going to say this because we only have 1 year left. When you're thinking about a piece of land that you might want to work on, it's probably good to check that you know who owns it, and that whether they are interested, that the landowner is interested, because our problem is, as I said, we don't own any land. We're working on other people's land. So it's worth just bearing that in mind, because that's what takes the time, to be fair. The owner of the land is the hardest thing to get permissions for. If it's Droitwich Town Council, you're onto a winner, obviously. And is there any questions? Yes.
Thanks, Judy. You say 1 year left. When does it end?
Oh, okay, March next year. Although, to be fair, I have got a meeting this week to come up with a new proposal for lottery to try and extend the project. That's what we'd like to do.
If you need any help.
I think the thing is, as some of you know, with lottery, you can't just ask for more money for the same project. You have to have a different take on the project. So it might be that we say, well, we've had a lot of success with 13 to 25-year-olds. We'd like to have the next project more based around that. We've had a lot of success with areas where there is nothing, it's just literally grass and a few trees. That's been a successful thing. We'd like to identify more spaces like that in Worcestershire. We can go outside of Droitwich and Worcester. That's what the meeting's about, in the hope that they'll get some more money for at least another couple of years, which is, community projects take a long time. You can't do them quickly. It just doesn't work. And the Trust are really keen. They're really, really supportive and really keen to get this going. So I'm really hopeful. Any more questions? Yes.
So mine's just a big thank you to you and to Condon. Particularly, I don't know the third lady.
Yeah, you might not know.
But your work has been really instrumental. I think you've enabled so many community. That didn't really sell it.
Sorry, did I not sell it enough?
No, that was a good factual talk through, but what you've got is people believing. You've instilled a confidence and a belief in people to get involved and to do things for themselves.
Yeah.
And I really thank you and Con for driving that and doing it. So
Thank you. Well, and that is the job. We don't do very much, really. We just walk around telling people that they can do it, and it's great, and it'll be fine.
That's not true. Colin was out there with Boy Scouts.
I know.
It sounds like as amazing as the work's been for the local environment, it's great for a lot of the local community as well. The community building aspects could be a focus of your next grant application.
Yeah. Interestingly, when we applied for money for this at the beginning, Lottery wouldn't let us go for a community fund because they said we haven't done enough community work. So this project was Heritage Lottery Fund, and we had to prove that we could do community stuff so that we can now apply for community fund money. Because actually, my background really is about people. I mean, I'm wildlife mad, but I know nothing compared to the people of the Trust. I mean, oh my gosh, that some people are so knowledgeable, but I'm enthusiastic, I think, and really passionate about getting people outside. My bottom line is get people outside and things will get better, Yes.
Are there any other groups that you're particularly associated with that group your work on?
Are there any groups that are actually focus groups that are actually working
on your behalf or
Um,
do things?
We don't probably not really. We work with anybody who'll work with us, I think, and we have got,
Well, I'll tell you why I'm asking is
Yes.
earlier on today, I Googled Friends of Solward River, and it said it was linked with Worcester Wildlife Trust. And this was what that meant.
I haven't,
This is AI on Google, so you don't always
Okay, yeah.
I just wondered if you knew anything about them.
no, and it might be that they work with somebody else, because the trust is, we have like a wetlands officer. They might have worked with her because she's not community engagement, but she is wetlands. So sometimes there's a group within the trust called Natural Networks, which was a very, very good system where it was linked to Worcester County Council. Worcester County Council gave money to projects and we gave advice, and they put the two together. Unfortunately, that's coming to an end. The advice side isn't coming to an end. We're still doing that, but the money side has come to an end, which is a bit sad. So different parts of the trust do work with different groups. So it might have been they worked with the wetlands officer. Yeah. I'm going to turn that off because it's making a noise. So,
Any other questions? No?
well, it was nice to meet you all. I've got
Thank
cards
you.
down the front if anybody wants to get in touch. And thank you very much for your time.
And thank you. All right. Yeah, right. Item 9 then is county council matters, which is Richard again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's just a few things. I think you're largely aware of them, anyway, to be honest. We're working on new parking and yellow lines at New Chawson. New Chawson, as you come into Chawson, gets affected by Cockhead Junction, to be honest, but then we right down Chawson there. And then into Droitwich is a way of circumnavigating the trouble. But the speeding and the cars parked there, we've changed it once before, but it's still not worked. So we're going back to it. And then a plan that's been advised by the police. So we're going with that plan now to try and overcome the issues. We've met with the residents as well, but all residents have different views. So we're going with the police version as a way of trying to overcome the concerns. Going to be placing soon some yellow lines on Berry Hill. At the moment, that's stalled because there's two companies on there that have different views. So I'm going out with highways to meet with them to try and overcome and find a way forward on the way that needs to be done. We're putting yellow lines on nearly all the junctions on the bends on Westwood Road. So on the bends, but on the junctions as well on Westlands Road. We know areas like Westlands and Chawson have particular issues with parking, as do many other areas, but they do almost entirely. But there's too many people parking on the junctions, which is a site problem when you're turning out. So we're going to have to put some WLS to try and improve that situation. Old Coach Road resurfacing, Old Coach Road pathway has been resurfaced, not the school side, the side opposite the school. That's been left for, I don't know, so many years, but now it looks really good and improved. So one side tended to be the school kids, the other side tended to be the residents, but now they can both have safe walk along there. Already placed, it took a while, yellow lines on the junctions of St Nicholas Street and Staines Way. That's highlighted another issue. Councillor Franks will be keen on, and that's people parking on the pavement. Stalls Farm Road is very wide, and we do tend to allow people to park on the pavement as long as there's a line for pedestrians. But the issue on the junctions is that people are parking on the pavement, even though we put the WO lines. The whole idea of the WO lines was again to try and get sight line turning out the junction. So we're going to have to try and stop them doing that somewhere as well. New pathways which will be done in July are Clams Way and Bow Street. So they're earmarked to be done. So that's just a brief update.
Thank you. Any comments on that? Any questions? No. Right, so item 10 then, district council matters. So I'll pass that on to George then, please.
Thank you. Unless Councillor Marshall wants to think about which area growth fund, it's been one of yours. I'll start that. It's a great thing to do. As of the 1st of April, the Wychaving Growth Fund is now live for businesses within Wychaving to apply for. Based on applications received through the former Wychaving Rural Fund, Wychaving are keen to support business improvements across the whole district and promote applications and growth in less well subscribed areas. Because unlike the Wychaving Rural Fund, the Growth Fund is also open to businesses in the 3 towns. The Wychaving Growth Fund, fully funded by Wychaving District Council, supports projects that help businesses grow with grants up to 15,000. This could include investment in new equipment, facility expansion, job creation, and productivity improvements. Applicants must be an SME based in Wychaving, fewer than 250 employees, and either a turnover of 44 million or less, or a balance sheet of 38 million or less. Demonstrate that the project will support business growth and provide at least 50% match funding. Contacts for this can be found on the Wychaving websites under the Growth tab. As well as this, the Wychaving SWDPR has now been fully adopted. The 5-year housing land supply has been confirmed by the inspectors as part of their findings, with a 5% buffer on the adoption of the plan. The planning team now undertaking monitoring work for the 25-26 period to provide updated 5-year housing land supply calculation, taking account of completions and changes in the supply of housing. And the data is expected in early summer. The Droops and supported by Wychaving, Droops Bar launches its reading pledge this month. Wychaving have been working closely with colleagues at the Droops Library and St Joseph's Primary School to launch the Droops Bar Reading Pledge as part of the National Year of Reading. The pledge invites local businesses and community organisations to create small reading spaces and free bookstop shelves. It's a simple idea that supports our wider wellbeing ambitions and helps make reading part of everyday life in the town. The library will be supplying starter packs of books and are already seeing great enthusiasm from local vendors. A brilliant example of partnership working and community spirit in action. Which one should we go with next? So Wychaving's ICT team have been supporting the next generation of digital talent, playing an important role in developing future local tech talent through a partnership with Heart of Worcester College. 2 second-year IT level students have been completing their industry placement with Wychaving after struggling to secure opportunities in their first year. Many tech companies now operate remotely or specialise in narrow areas of work, making it difficult for students to gain broad hands-on experience required for their qualification. So our ICT team have stepped in to bridge that gap, offering practical support, mentoring and exposure to a wide range of real-world digital services. Alongside hosting the students, the team has also been working with the college to review elements of its curriculum. The collaboration gives us a valuable opportunity to help shape the skills and knowledge of our future workforce and strengthen local pathways into digital roles. In recognition of this work, Wychaving have been nominated for an employer award celebrating organisations that go above and beyond in supporting T-level students. The award ceremony takes place on the 3rd of June, and Mike will be attending on behalf of our shared ICT services. As well as this, outdoor seating costs are being cut to help businesses thrive. The cost of creating outdoor seating areas for cafes, coffee shops, pubs and restaurants is being slashed by Wychaving as part of an effort to support hospitality businesses and town centres. A 70% discount is now available on pavement licences, applying to both new applications and renewals. Pavement licences allow businesses selling food and drink to place tables and chairs on public footpaths outside their premises. They can be used for other types of removable furniture, such as counters, stools, or counters or stalls for serving food and drink outside, as well as heaters, benches, and other types of seating. Replacement of advertising boards or A-boards or anything which cannot be removed from the footpath after closing time is not covered by the pavement licence and still requires a separate consent. And finally, bin collections and street cleaning services are moving in-house. Waste and recycling collections, along with street cleaning, will be delivered directly by Woodhaven for the first time in decades, as part of preparations for the changes to local councils. Councillors have agreed to move services in-house once the current contract with FCC ends on the 31st of March. This is the day before Woodhaven, 31st of March 2028. This is the day before Woodhaven is set to be abolished under the local government reorganisation and replaced by either a South Worcestershire unitary or a single unitary council. It's believed beginning a new contract, potentially with a new contractor on the same day as the biggest change to local government in more than 50 years, would pose a risk to delivery and quality of service to residents. Extending the existing contracts is not an option, and all the other district councils being abolished within the Worcestershire area already operate their own waste and recycling services. It's felt that if Woodhaven started a new long-term contract with an external provider, it could tie the hands of new unitary councils, making it more difficult to achieve efficiency savings and improve the service.
Thank you. Any questions for that, for George, or any comments? Yes,
I think there's something I'm out to say, there's another point as well. I don't think that's secret, is it? To do with health, skills, opportunities which you're going to be investing in. And there's also going to be a grant towards energy efficiency and biodiversity for local community organisations as well. So I think they're all ideas, I suppose, that you have towards those kind of projects. Please do forward them to your district councillors or district council. And the other one I was going to mention is obviously it's great to see the new splash pads up and running, which have been a big hit with the families, really.
thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Karen.
Just that's on that. So, what time do the splash pads actually stop functioning in the evening? Because there's crowds of people on Saturday night. I was there at 5:30. Well, must have been 100 people there, and the splash pads weren't working. This was 5:30. So, what time does it actually work till?
It's like 5 or 6, I'll find out.
Yeah, whatever time it is, it needs to be longer. It's so successful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just on that point, I was just walking through the park a couple of days ago, and the sign indicated the splash pads should actually be working, but they weren't.
Yeah.
So again, I think it needs to be just clarified.
So
Yeah.
just to say there have been some teething issues.
Of course.
Yeah, and they've been remedied very quickly, but there were some issues at the start. 2, 3, I think, separate ones.
I wonder if it's something we simply.
But it should be getting all right. But they've got a fast track on the warranty to get them working again.
6 p.m.
6.
Yeah. Or it was 5:30.
They were working.
Thanks.
Any more comments? No. Thank you then. So item 11, Woodhaven District Council Droitwich Spa Place Board update, and that's from Councillor Simpson.
That's right, yes, thank you, yes. Unfortunately, I was expecting, or was hoping that the chairman of the place board, Matt Nichols, was going to be here this evening. He sent his apologies, he really wants to delay comment until the Lido project, which was the place board's first project, is with no more details of. So he's not coming to this meeting, which I'm sorry about. But he has sent a message about future meetings. So he's saying he looks forward to giving a full update on all our projects and plans for future meeting, including the bike night, which will be very successful. Park run, the National Year of Reading, which is going to get involved with, the Tower Hall animation, which is Tower Hill rather, animation, which is on its way, the Gurney's Lane improvements, and our focus for the next 2 years. So hopefully he'll be at the June meeting and things will resolve itself, hopefully, with the situation. Anything to add, Richard or Mark? I think that's about covers it all.
I know it's later on the agenda, Alex, but the town culture as well. So
Oh,
that's a
town culture,
partnership. So we'll update on that later, but that's a big
And I think the other thing is missed off is because they were very involved with the banking of working with the town council, the banking up to there. So it's done an awful lot. So I just hope it will carry on as it's been going on.
The only thing I can add is on the line, because we've now upped the budget to 12.5 million. But what we haven't done yet is finalise the design, and that's what we're working on. From now on. But that's the stage where we're trying to get resolved. It's increased cost because you know the global issue at the moment, and construction, and also trying to navigate around the park. You know, it's not as easy as many might think and try to do things. So that's what we're trying to overcome at the moment. There was separate funding as well. It's not a place board initiative, it's a whichever one, but the pump track and the skate park also got increased budgets, and they're due to be completed for September.
Councillor Franks, did you want to say something?
Well, obviously a little bit disappointed. Obviously, I was looking forward to this having dialogue with the police board. Obviously, Matt Nichols not the only person on the police board, so obviously it would have been nice to have a presentation. In the interim, is there any way in which we can submit ideas to the police board? Because obviously that's what I was hoping to do tonight.
Yeah. Do it through Mark or Richard or myself, yes. Yes.
I think that would be well.
Yeah, Grant.
Thank you. This is all good news, and thank you. Just one thing which I would like to see, and that staff would like to see, and that is to have a view of the plans for the Brine Bath facility. And also for their consultant, their retained expert on brine matters, to also have a chance to have a look at it and feedback at an early stage, the tweaks that we wanted to obviously come out with a good design at the end. But I don't know if that can be done sooner rather than later. I mean, if it has to be confidential, just to one or two people, fine. It's just the key players can at least feedback, which I'm sure would be useful to have their feedback now rather than later when things have got a bit more fixed and sort of just tweak things.
I would actually just like to add to that, because I talked to someone at the weekend who's quite intimate, I'm not going to say who they are, but very intimate with what's happening with the plans and etc. And they did bring up some concerns that they have, that obviously as a councillor I've never heard before, and obviously things that I would like some answers to, because obviously if I'm going to district council and putting my hand up to say yes, we agree with this, I would expect to know the information. And if it's been hidden away with the police board and it's not being told to us, it is a concern. And it was somebody who's, I'll not say who it is, but very, very intimate with the plans and does know what they're talking about. And it was a very interesting conversation. So I hope, as I say, I hope we get some answers soon before it's too late.
Okay, I don't know what you're alluding to necessarily, we can speak separately, but with the sods, Bob, if you or the secretary write to me, I'll make sure that's passed on.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, that would be great.
Any more comments on that? No. Okay, thank you. Now, where are we? Oh, yes. Item 12, Neighbourhood Development Plan. To consider and ratify approval for the following 3 documents prepared by the consultant and conducive towards final submissions to Wychavon District Council of the prepared final amended version of the NDP. And I think this is
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, this represents the combination of around 4 years of work and a lot of quite difficult documents and so on dealt with. We've been very fortunate that our consultant that we managed to retain, a very good consultant, he's actually got a PhD in planning, so he does know what he's talking about. And we've got to this point now where everything is now aligned in place and it simply needs to be approved so we can move to the final stages. And so I would like to formally propose that we approve these documents to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconder for this? Yes, thank you. So, all those in favour?
Any against?
Any against?
Any abstentions?
Any abstentions? That's fine
So
then.
that's carried, thank you, Chairman, and we can submit that to Wychavon tomorrow's finished document. The process will probably take 3 to 6 months for the inspector to review it, and then whether it's adopted or not will be subject to referendum after then. But Wychavon have done the screening on it last October, and they did endorse it as a policy document, so we're hopeful that that will get adopted in line with the SWDPR that Councillor Duffy mentioned earlier.
Right. Thank you. Right, item 13 then. Assertion 10. I'll pass that over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Chairman. So, just going by the agenda, assertion 10, there's essentially 4 elements to it. It's a new control measure at the external audit level from this year, so nationally for all parishes and town councils. The requirement really focuses on GDPR, digital data compliance, and what information the town council holds and where that information is available or how it is available. So it's effectively it's managing digital risk. So there are 4 parts to it. Part A is called the roadmap. I did send all this information out. The roadmap is really what it says. It's almost a diagram and a summary subject to approval, which will go on our website. It's a guide of what information we hold, how it's governed under the Freedom of Information Act, it's this attachment here, and how to find out information. So it's a standard pro forma this recommended through CALC and the ISO, and we populated it for the use, like we do with the standing orders of the town council. Some of the information is non-applicable for this council and some of it is. So that's the document that's been sent out. So of the 4 parts, we would like that to be recommended, considered and then approved this evening. Then we can add it onto the website, and that'll be before the end of year review, which is later in May by the auditor, and then it'll go up to the external auditor in June. So we will be compliant with that. The second part is to update the information technology policy. So that again is a lengthy document. It's a recommended one from CALC. It's 15 pages, but we have populated that to fit our business model as a town council is. Most of it is fairly straightforward. It's use of the internet, what use it is used for, what controls are in place, what backups are in place, remote working, monitoring, use of the internet, use of email, things like that. It's very similar to what you would have for your own emails at home, basically. And then the other 2 are part C is when the council's last conducted a website accessibility test. Now, we last did ours in March 2023, so it's our website provider for droitwich.gov.uk. So what I've arranged with Jenny, our provider, is that she will do another one. So it looks at fonts, background, layout of the actual website, what information's on there. And there is a fee for that, £350, but they will do another one as of 30th of March 2026. So we can say that we have reviewed that and updated it. Aside to that, there is a requirement for all parishes and towns to have a .gov.uk address. So we already have that for the officers and the website. So we haven't had to do anything more with that. A lot of the parishes haven't, so they're having to update, and there is obviously costs with that. There may or may not be a requirement then in due course, but they haven't done it this year, that will extend to all councillors. So that Wychavon did it, that everybody had, all elected members had to have a .gov.uk address at Wychavon a year or so ago. So I think that is coming at town and parish level, but that will be in the next tranche of reform on this. And the very last one is D, so this is the 4th part of the test. When the council has conducted a data audit in accordance with GDPR practices. So what I've done with that is, again, it's a lengthy document, but it did go out. It's off the .gov.uk website, and it just outlines local government transparency code. I did a summary with that for the code, and then there is, again, 37 pages of the .gov.uk. So what we have to do as a council is just demonstrate that we've reviewed that. So if members haven't read it, please do so and raise any questions. If I don't know the answer, I can get them.
Yeah.
But this is all the recommended protocol through .gov.uk and through CAL.
Right.
So there's two parts really tonight: to adopt the roadmap, to adopt the updated information policy, and to just reference a minute that we've done the accessibility test and we've provided the information on GDPR responsibilities to all members of the council.
So, how do you want to play this? Do we go
So
first?
if there are any questions, please raise them. If members are happy. propose second.
Mine's not a question, it's just clarity, because at Whitshaven, we were not allowed to have .gov.uk,
Yeah,
so we had to have .net.
yeah,
So-
so that's my mistake. That'll probably be the way it goes for members in years to come.
Just confusing, because you get residents say, I've tried to get you, and they've gone .gov.uk thinking it would be that approach, and it's not. So,
I think the background to it is that they've had people, elected members at possibly parishes and other towns that don't have protection in place on their email domains. So on the council business, that's introduced problems.
Right.
So if there are any questions, I can take them. If members are happy with the two proposed documents and the two to review, a minute, be proposed second on all in favour, please.
Yeah. So are there any questions?
Not really, but just an observation on that. Just to say again, thank you to our officers. This is another one of these almost invisible tasks, is to get beaver away at. And we almost don't notice, but if we didn't have that support, we would obviously soon find ourselves in the problem. And obviously I would be very happy to propose approval.
So can I have a seconder then? Thank you. All those in favour then? Thank you very much. Right. Item 14 then, asset review. Annual asset review 2025 to 2026. Again, I'll hand you over. Mark.
So as we are at year end, the assets statement is provided. It does differ slightly year on year because the town council's policy is historic purchase value, so for land and things like that, or the insurable value. So what the external and the internal auditors check each year is that we update the insurable value from the insurance policy renewal, which is at the beginning of January. So that's been done, and there is a very slight variance. I think it's about £57 on prior year's asset value. Interestingly, the Heritage Centre upgrade has not affected the insurance value in any way, so there's no change with that. There will be, however, anticipated changes to assets with the forthcoming LGR, because we've been acquiring, hopefully, whether it's heritage assets, land, things like that. So it's largely unchanged apart from a small insurance variance, which is index linking really on the two big buildings as presented.
Okay. Anybody got any comments? Nope. Okay then.
So on that one, if we could just have a proposer, second and all in favour to say it's been updated for the audit, please.
So can I have a proposer? Yes, thank you.
Yes, from my previous comments, that I said Scott was for another necessary job, and again, yes, I'm happy to propose approval.
And a seconder? Yes, thank you. Right, all those in favour?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So item 15, internal audit engagement letter 2025 to 2026.
So fairly straightforward one. This, we have presented this before, it was in December, but we have to present it in each period. So what this letter is, it's a letter from the auditor, the internal auditor. So he does a half-year review, usually around November, and then end of year sign-off, which is in May this year. That gets then sent off after council in June to the external auditor. But a requirement of the external auditor is we check the independence and professional suitability of the internal auditor, which is his engagement letter. So I just need, like the last one, that we considered that and resolved it.
Thank you. So can I have a proposal for this then, please?
Can I speak?
Oh, yes, certainly.
What we haven't done is we haven't converted the model as far as I'm aware. And we're in the year that it should be up and running, because basically we turned the old previous ones, we put that away, and then we voted for the new one, but we only have a model. So we have to get rid of the rubbish from the model, so we have something which is relevant for us.
I don't understand the
No,
question.
I don't.
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Well, the model came with the version which includes a lot of options. That's the model.
Do you mean standing orders?
The accounting rules.
We adopted the now standing orders in December.
We might have
We
done, but
updated them.
there's a requirement to go through the model, which covers all different sizes of
This isn't to do with standing orders, this is the independence of the internal auditor.
yeah, but we said that we adopted it, but we haven't.
What haven't we adopted? The standing orders?
Well, if you want to see it. I can find it. I'll write you about it. It's the best thing.
Okay.
But effectively, we were sent something which was a copy of the accounting rules of various things about signing checks and.
The model template for the standing orders and then the financial regs, but they were then populated and they were the resolved ones in December. You actually voted for them as well at the December council.
But you didn't see a copy with the amendments in it.
It was circulated. I sent them to you again a couple of months
Well, I
ago.
know, and I've got that, that's the one I had, but it still requires, what I got, answers to certain questions.
But if there are outstanding questions, by all means, please
Well,
let me
what I'll do
know.
is I'll mention something.
Nice.
Fine.
Yeah.
So
So,
the internal engagement letter, we just need to propose second and all in favour that the independence of the auditor has been suitably checked.
yeah. So can I have a proposal for this, please? Thank you. There's 3 of them there. Can I have a seconder? And 2 of them now. Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. Right, item 16 then. Town of Culture 2028. To confirm submission of the partnership-led expression of interest application in the collaboration with Droitwich Spa Place Board.
Thank you, Chairman. So this is just for information because we submitted the expression of interest on the 31st of March, 30th of March, that was a day before the deadline. It's still under review, so we hope to be shortlisted. If we get through to the next round, we are granted £60,000 to develop a bid. So, and the other thing I'd just reaffirm there, it's a partnership application with the Place Board, so the Town Council with the Place Board, the Town Council being the deliverable body. So as soon as we get any progress update, I'll let members and the Place Board know, but we're optimistic on that. And the full application was circulated with the agenda pack.
Thank you. Any comments? No. Item 17, Armed Forces Day, Saturday the 27th of June. Early notification for the flag raising ceremony. That'll be up to you, Councillor Brazier. I think, maybe.
So it was really successful last year. I think Councillor Morris, you presided, didn't you, for last year's ceremony?
It must be successful.
in the mayor's absence. So, very much the same, but what was very positive this year, the Air Cadets actually approached us to ask if they could do the same with the band performance, so of course we said yes.
It really is important that everybody sees as many youngsters as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, and you've got a timetable there?
Yeah.
It's-
So it's just a note.
Yeah. 27th of June. Right. Item 18, to receive and consider, where are we? To receive and consider
I'll take these on block, Chairman.
the minutes under of the under-mentioned committee meetings. Planning Committee, 2nd of February, Resources and Sustainability, 2nd of February, Community and Amenities, 23rd of February, Resources and Sustainability Committee, 23rd of February, Planning Committee, 23rd of March, Resources and Sustainability, 23rd of March, Planning Committee, 13th of April, Community and Amenities, 13th of April, and Resources and Sustainability, put my teeth back in, 13th of April. So can we take these on block and have a proposer to, thank you, and a seconder, thank you, Eric. All those in favour then? Thank you very much. Item 19, German Twinning Association visit and civic reception. And I think I'll pass this over to Councillor Sinton.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Yes, as you all know, I was very keen to move on with the twinning association. It's one of the things I really enjoy in my year as mayor. So, and it's something I carry on. I'm actually the publicity officer for both organisations at the moment. So I'm on the committee. So one of the first things I did, and these are hot off the press, these are our publicity things which we updated, and these are for our foreign visitors when they come from France and Germany. They're so good, they've just been done by Woodchain for us. They were organised an English one as well, Mark, I think, having seen this. So, I'm happy to translate the French one, I couldn't translate the German one, they are the same. But perhaps we can do that. But anybody wants to have a look at them, we have got them in the CIC there next door. I thought it'd be rather nice on this occasion when the German twin, when they arrive, they're due to come to us on the 4th of June until the 8th of June, the German twins, rather than them arriving at the cricket club at Gormley in dribs and drabs, but to have a proper formal reception for them. Two reasons. One is we've now got a brand new CIC to show them, and also their mayor is coming as well, Roubaix, who I've got to know pretty well in my 2 years going there. So I thought it'd be rather nice on Friday, the day after they've arrived, we go to Churchfields in the morning, or the pre-afternoon, to have a proper civic reception. Well, I'm pleased to say the next mayor, I think, he's happily agreed to this. So it's at 5:30 on the 5th of June. The idea is to have welcome them here, give them some nibbles for their glass of wine, and to show them our new setting there, and to introduce them to what we're doing. I'm hoping the town crier will come so they see a bit of a ceremony from a British ceremony, because when I was there last month, before I had an accident in Germany, which is why I've been away for a few weeks, when I was away in Germany, they were fascinated by the idea we've got a town crier. So it'd be rather nice for Ed to come, so we don't invite him and various other people. So everybody's going to be invited, all councillors. Nice that as many of you as possible could come. It's at 5:30 on the 5th of June, and then you can all go off to the Rickmail Festival afterwards. But that's when they're coming. We're going to have a banner actually outside to welcome the Germans, which we're going to talk about on Wednesday, I think, at the meeting. So it should be a really pleasant hour or so, maybe an hour or so, not too long. There are 33 Germans, no, that's right, 33 Germans coming, and they're coming in coach altogether, so it should be quite a very pleasant evening, and I'm looking forward to the weekend. We're taking them to Gloucester as well, there'll be all sorts of other things going on, so it should be a good event. The French trip, unfortunately I can't go because of my accident now, but is next week. The French twinners are going to Warren next Wednesday, and they'll be able to take us some of these French ones. The Cap Touristique area, so they're going, that's next week that they're going, so that will go forth there. So that's happening next week. So both the twinning associations, I'd like to say, you're the president, Madam Mayor, aren't you?
Yes.
Are thriving, are doing very well. But I'm just hoping in my role as publicity officer, we can actually make them even better. So thank you very much. So if as many of you can come to that, you will get a proper invitation eventually. But bear that in mind, 5th of June. Cheers, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yes, Dave.
Is that like a tourist brochure?
Yeah, this, yes.
Would it be appropriate to have it also in other languages in the Heritage Centre? If we sort of work out where most of our tourists come from, if they sign this book.
That's possible, but it's, we can talk about that again, yes. It was specifically for the Twinning Association. The Twinning Association ran advertised on it. The Twinning Association produced them, actually, as well. Yeah. And the previous one was 2011. And so we've updated it all. So we've put some new photographs on. And Rich Haven have done a great job for us on, actually. There are actually 3 Rich Havens, which there you go.
I've noted.
Yes,
Just a thought, but should a copy of that be put on the website, our website, so looking at some information.
very good. Right, item 20, homelessness and rough sleeping strategy consultation. I wish people wouldn't give me long words to say.
So this one, Chairman, it is quite poignant this because we've had increased reports of people in hardship, rough sleeping in Droitwich over the last few weeks. And we've actually had a report today and referred this to the SMT team to not to take action, but to give support and assistance to a vulnerable person at rough sleeping at the back of the community hall. And we've also contacted the Witch Haven team to see if they can intervene and help. So it is affecting the local community. I did send this out because last week the rough sleeping consultation started on the 14th of April for Witch Haven and it runs up to the 24th of May. But I'm speaking with Councillor Della as well, it's a very important aspect of modern society, so it would be good for the town council to consider a corporate response. Members can put their own responses in, as can members of the public, that was said on the email last week, but just mindful there's an opportunity tonight to do a corporate statement and I can get that to tomorrow.
Yes,
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, thank you, Mark, for that. This is something I'm deeply passionate about. This strategy has taken a while to come to where it is. It focuses on 3 key areas. It focuses on young people who are at risk of homelessness. It focuses on the elimination of unsuitable temporary accommodation, and unsuitable temporary accommodation would be bed and breakfasts. We're trying to eliminate that, to get people out of that. And most importantly, it focuses on intervention and prevention, because the way we end the cycle of homelessness is we step in earlier. And the reason why I think it's so key the town council are involved is because it involves partnership working, so collaborative working, and that's how we end this cycle. So this strategy is across five of the 6 districts. Worcester City are doing their own because they have unique challenges of being a city themselves. And I think I want to follow on what Mark said. A lot of when we think about homelessness, we think about people on the streets. That is not homelessness, that is rough sleeping. Homelessness is hidden, and that's where partnership working comes in. That's where people on the ground come in. Whatever walk of life you're in, conversations. Let's step in earlier, and I think that's why it's so key for community groups, town councils, parish councils to be involved with this.
Okay. Any other comments on this? Yes.
I think it's a hugely important thing to focus on to make sure some of those in our town that may be struggling with homelessness are able to properly engage and be good and effective members of our town. I'd specifically like to commend Councillor Desworth on Witch Haven's housing project on Walmesley Street West. I know it's caused some friction with some of the very nearby residents, but having heard from many of them myself, Witch Haven that seemed more based on their experiences with the inappropriate sort of housing options or emergency housing used in that area. So I think that housing project is absolutely the right route to work on that problem. And we suggest that we include a commendation for that in our corporate response. Working with myself now with mental health, I've definitely seen how homelessness can affect the children of those who suffer from homelessness, and it can be a generational problem. So having a place within Droitwich where young people who are at risk of suffering the same can have a place to build themselves up.
Any other comments?
I just think I approve of everything you said. I just think it's in the wrong place, one in Almondsley Street Road, sorry. And we've got drug dealing going on behind the church. We've got a rough licence up the road that was closed down and is reopened. There are bad people living close by in some of these other places that they undoubtedly would get to know. I'm not sure about anybody being in charge at night. And once plan permissions together, there's no guarantee that it will always be a decent charity running it. So as I'm the counsellor for the people that oppose it, I will probably, if they still want me to, I will vote against it. But not only because it's in the wrong place.
But you can't always associate being homeless with being a drug addict.
No,
I
I
mean-
mean the people around in the environment.
Do you remember years ago, the television programme, Kathy Come Home? And it amazes me that still, after all these years, we've still got this problem.
I think, Chairman, just on clarification, what the item is on this, it's just to consider a corporate response. It's not the detail of the location, as states and expressed concern. So my suggestion on this, if members are happy, would be to include accommodation for Safe Place community housing project, just in general, because of the importance of that. Welcome partnership working and endorse the 3 principles of the Wychavon homelessness policy, which Councillor Dell has explained as a town council in this case.
Yes.
I certainly recommend Councillor Della as well for his work. I read this earlier on, and it's a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
Those of us who live in nice 5-bedroom detached houses in parts of Droitwich don't realise quite how bad this problem is.
Yes.
And I think it's very urgent that we do support this. And I'm happy to propose what Mark has put forward. That's okay. I propose that. Have you got to do that, Rick? Is that what you'd like?
Councillor Franks?
I just wanted to say again, thanks for this coming together. I think, as you know, I supported the scheme at the district, and I made it clear to the opposition that was there that, you know, what would have been nice is to hear people, how they're going to welcome these people to the area and how they can be part of the community, whether it's where it is or it's in Droitwich East. I would be welcoming this kind of scheme, and thank you very much.
So I had a proposer. Can I have a seconder for that then? Thank you, Neil. We've got a second. So all those in favour then?
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Item 21, motion for consideration, support for the Friends of the River Salworth group. Can I pass the
So this was Councillor Franks to start with.
Yeah.
We tabled the original motion.
Yeah,
If
so
Councillor Franks like to
Councillor
speak.
Franks?
Yeah, I believe there's an amendment to this.
Yeah.
So where do I start? Here we are again. So by tonight it'll be 0 for 8. I've managed to get through the motions. I will say that I have to admit that this is looking very targeted and very personal. I'll be honest with you. My motion tonight, like all of the rest of them that I've put forward, was all about the community, all about our lovely town. This one was about, and as I start in the motion, you know, the ecological, cultural and historical importance of the River Salward to Droitwich, including the rare brine influenced habitats and biodiversity. It's about obviously a new group coming along, they're growing, they're just getting started, and Mr. Sinton, if you want any information, I can point you in the right direction in future. They're looking to undertake walks, map the inlets and outlets, monitor biodiversity, test water quality, and help identify potential pollution sources of the River Salward. Caroline, who's leading this, has got experience. She's already actually done some initial testing and some worrying results have already come up. So this is what this motion was about. And then we have the amendments. Now, the amendments is a bit of a funny one for me, because actually, in its own right, it's not a bad little motion. I have my problem with it though, and that's why I'm going to ask you, as a last pitchfork, to abandon the amendment, to go away and update it, because it lacks a lot. Now, I'll just start by saying, and I would like this on record, is the friends of groups that I know, and the other ones that I don't really know, but I've heard good things about, I do appreciate everything they do for this town. They do an awful lot of work, and it is appreciated. But so do many other groups in this town as well. We have the CVS, the Food Bank, St Vincent's, the Community Pantry and Fridge, Moving Forward Westlands, the Droitwich Cycling, Walking and Wheeling Group, the Arts Network, the Civic Society, the Air, Army and Fire Cadets, sports clubs, even my little Speedwatch group, which is getting moving sort of thing. There are lots of groups who contribute to our town. And I think if that amendment could just be taken away, give it an update, come back in June, and it would be a brilliant amendment to say to the town and all these community organisations, we appreciate everything you do for our town. And it would get 100% backing, I guarantee it. Unfortunately, I know that's not going to happen, which is a real shame. And I'm not voting for the amendments for the reason I've just given, but also, I'm going to make it clear that I do see this as a targeted intervention like all the rest of them have been. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. And let's get on with the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, can I just clarify, have you got a seconder for your motion?
Rob?
Thank you.
So that's the original
Yeah.
motion. There was an amendment that I circulated on Thursday. I think Councillor Della, Councillor Duffy
Yeah.
mentioned that.
Right, Councillor Della.
We've got earlier, so I won't go over that old ground. I thought this enhances your motion. I think it highlights all the friends of groups in there. Does not take away from the other community groups. I think this is focused on the friends of groups, because they're community led. I think this enhances this, and take anything away from what you suggested. We are still going to highlight what they're doing and what that coordination between community groups, and I think that's what this amendment does. So I'm happy to propose.
Thank you.
Seconder.
Seconder for this?
I'd be happy to second this. I think like Councillor Della has said, the amendments brings good attention to the work that a lot of the friends of groups are doing. As of this new one that we haven't met, and that I don't think as a council we've worked with before, so haven't really got much information on them, where I would have liked to have seen a presentation from a group of them who has to support them. I think where it makes it more appropriate is actually specifically on one of the parts of one of the resolutions from the original motion that invites the group to present updates, which is really more a role of the it's just slipped my mind, the more mandatory sort of response groups of the town, like the police, like other councils, the sort of updates that we receive of every council meeting of groups that represents sort of whole portions of the town, what's the word I'm looking for? Not the more statutory groups, that's what I'm looking for. I think the exception there being the youth council, which I think we will really support as almost our own internal statutory group. That's where I think the real difference here is that where we welcome, or I'd say welcome anyway, any of our volunteer groups in the town to come present to us. I feel the updates at town council are more for our sort of representee groups. But for that reason, I'd be very happy to second this.
Thank you. So,
Therefore, as this was circulated in advance as well on Thursday, that will become the substantive motion. So to take a vote on that.
on the amendment.
On the amendment.
All those in favour?
Can we speak first?
Yes, certainly.
Okay, so I think it was a good consideration with the motion in the first place. I think by the sound of it, they do fantastic work. We did recently give them a grant.
It was the Seven Rivers Trust we gave the grant to, not to this.
To do monitoring on the south. Yeah. So we're happy to support any group or listen to them with grants. We have a grant system to do that. We support many of the friends groups anyway with grants, and all the other groups that you outlined. I think we've probably given grants over time. We're very fortunate with all our community groups, and I do feel that as a town council, we do embrace our community groups and try and support them as fully as we can. I am quite passionate about friends groups. I set up about 3-4 of them because there are things where there are not others really looking at in terms of supporting our community, gaps, spaces, and friends group do a fantastic job coming together to try and manage those gaps. So like the railway station, like the Lido, or residents into that operation to try and support it and we hold it in the community. The Friends have popped up in Bully Lane Woods, which has had a checkered history, but now that Friends Group can go from Drury, they're doing fantastic work in supporting that area. So I fully support the establishment of the new Friends Group, but I do think we have a collection of wider Friends Groups which do a fantastic job that we do support. And I think as an open council, we will listen to our community support.
Thank you. Yes.
If I may, Madam Mayor, just as a point of order, and in view of some of the earlier remarks, I'd just like to clarify that this amendment fully complies with rules of debate at meetings in our standing orders 1E. An amendment is a proposal to remove or add words to a motion. It shall not negate the motion, and there's no attempt here to anyway negate the principle of the motion put forward, and as Councillor Martin said, in that sense, we support it, but enhance it. Thank you.
Thank you. So, where were we? We've got a proposer and a seconder, so all those in favour of the motion? Thank you.
Any against?
Any against?
Two.
Thank you. Right, item 22, accounts for payment.
So they are as presented, Chairman. There's just 5 supplementaries, arts exhibitions, infrastructure for the TIC 514.80, the final bill to the neighbourhood plan of 480, heating issues back in February, servicing that was £334.69. N-Power, this is the Christmas lighting electricity from last year, 770.11. That's for the outside lighting around the town. And then the Baptist Church grant for 2,000. We have their acceptance back today. So that's an additional 4,099.60 to what's already presented. So proposed second and
Can we have a proposer to accept these? Thank you. And a seconder? Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you very much indeed. And that now concludes my last full council.